Good evening. My name is Bob Pierce. Most of you have heard me speak in the past. I'm a University of Hawaii West Oahu student. This is my last general ed class, which is speech. I'm actually taking it from Hilo, but it's required to get my West Oahu BA, so I'm doing it. Tonight my speech will be on sales tax on the internet. How many of you buy things on the internet? Okay. How many of you would be willing to pay sales tax on the things that you buy on the internet? Yeah, no, most people don't like to think about that, especially when there is a range of tax percentages from 4% to 9%. 9% of $100 is $9. And it makes it really difficult if you're trying to look for a deal, or if you're working on a budget, or whether you're even going to decide to buy the item or not. And it doesn't always have to be 9%, although California and New York does have 9% sales taxes. Could be $5.50, $4.95, depending upon the percentage of where you're buying it from. So it's junk. Nobody likes it. I admit I don't like to pay sales taxes on the internet. In fact, I look for the websites that don't charge sales taxes. Part of the speeches that we have to do is that we have to interview an expert. And my interviewee has a slightly different view. He was an income tax preparer and soon to graduate from Kauai Community College with an accounting degree. And he would only let me interview him if he could remain anonymous. So I will refer to him as the tax man. Being involved in income taxes and accounting, his basic position was that governments need revenue and that taxes should be collected. He had an overall theme of fairness in taxation. He thought that it should be more across the board evenly, but that he also strongly advocated local buying. And I agree with him, because buying local is important and it helps our economy. But he had a conflict because he also bought online. So it's kind of one of the reasons why he wanted to stay anonymous. I will use the answers that he gave me to my questions, there was about 15 of them, as required through my speech. I don't know whether any of you know it or not, but Hawaii actually does charge an internet tax, but only for businesses that have a physical presence in the state. Now, it doesn't take much. It could be a store, it could be a warehouse, or it could just be an office where they have administrative work done. But if there's a door with a sign on it that has a company's name, it's a physical presence, and if they sell merchandise on the internet in Hawaii, they have to charge what we call our excise tax. But if there isn't any, we don't pay any tax. So I don't see an Amazon sign anywhere in Hawaii. So in my mind's eye, I see this. That's the tax that I like to pay. Every state has these conflicting internet sales tax needs. Citizens need to save money. States need revenue. Hawaii consumers have an additional difference to consider. As you all know, we are an island chain state. Everything sold gets either flown or shipped here, but not everything can be sold here or be available in our stores, in what we call brick and mortar stores in our state. More items go to Oahu. I mean, they got a Target. We don't have a Target, and a lot of other stores. And even if you buy something on the internet from Oahu, you're going to pay taxes. So, on the outer islands, like we are here on Kauai, we are at a disadvantage. So most likely we do more internet purchasing. We need the ability to buy things from the internet. The tax man, he agreed, but his opinion was kind of split. He thought that we should learn what real stores, brick and mortar stores, we should add to the islands to cover our needs, and then let the internet provide our wants. He made a distinction between needs and wants, but he wanted to tax both. Found that kind of interesting. Every state wants sales tax revenue, that's a given. But there's a strong opposition from online businesses, large and small. Online businesses don't want or need to charge sales taxes, mainly because there are 9,646 tax jurisdiction areas in America. So they freak out. They're like, and all of them have different taxation percentages. So it's not like just one state has one, there's over 9,000 of them. And for any business, that comes close to what's called an administrative nightmare. They don't want to have to try and keep track of all that. So they fight tooth and nail against it. On one website, there were comments like, I didn't go into business to be a tax collector, and will charge more, make less revenue, and have higher costs. And one very truthfully said statement, the chance of us collecting all sales tax correctly all the time is 0. At one time, the federal government tried a plan called the Marketplace Fairness Act of 2013. They were trying to take on the big players. If a company made $1 million or more in a state, they collected and paid taxes, whether they had a physical presence or not, just if they sold in the state $1 million or more. Well, wasn't liked, didn't pass, but there's still a strong movement that Uncle Sam's pushing for some kind of collection of sales tax on the internet, even with all the opposition. Do states need revenue to run their states? Yes. Is revenue that runs the state good for the people of the state? Yes. We do need to have certain things done. Hawaii does have an in-state excise tax, like I mentioned before. Tourism pays a lot of it. We have tax on sales on goods, services, and food. And there are other monetary sources that seem to meet our state's needs. And allowing 0 sales tax on online purchases is good for consumers, and it more or less paves the way for Hawaiians to create future online businesses, because it's a kind of an even playing field. All of these current worthwhile situations are being maintained nicely. When more revenue is needed, our system devises a plan to cover our needs as people of the state. But those situations might be even better if there was only an acceptable solution to an internet sales tax. But that door to a beneficial source of revenue seems locked and barred from use. But my interviewee, when I asked him some questions, he had a persuasive effect on me, even though I like that big round number of 0 at percentage sign. There are powers that be that want the tax revenue flow to occur in the future. With time, that will probably be thrust upon us as consumers. Remember my first question. Do we want unpredictable sales tax percentages, 4 to 9%, or whatever the current percentage is from 9,646 tax jurisdictions? I don't, and internet businesses don't. Having that type of internet sales tax thrust on us will probably discourage buying from the internet or starting new internet businesses, and a strong possibility that existing internet businesses will close. Maybe ones that you and I like and use a lot. Now imagine this situation. An internet sales tax solution proposed before the future catches us off guard, that's acceptable to internet businesses and consumers alike. A nationwide sales tax equal to the lowest of the 9,646 tax jurisdictions. Maybe with a small increase after 5 years, but only if the lowest jurisdiction also increases. It might be hard to sell the idea to the 9,000 jurisdictions, but if we catch it before it's thrust on us, it could be said, hey, you might want your 9%, maybe you'll get 4%, but it's better than 0%. So maybe they'll think about it in a little different light. But if a bad system is thrust on us, everyone risks a nightmare mess in administration and most likely dwindling sales. So, in conclusion, basically, these are action steps that we can take. We should want, request, and accept a nationwide, state-by-state vote on a 50-state, low, flat-rate internet sales tax that's fully explained with pros and cons before a worse tax is thrust upon us. My interviewee, the tax man, agreed with having a vote to know the will of the people. Not sure how he would feel about a flat rate tax, although fairness was important to him. I feel like flat rate tax, if we're going to have any, is fairly fair. With the proper advertising and explanation on any ballot, we as a people can take action and create an acceptable revenue source for our state to the benefit of the people. And that is an entirely new concept. Usually taxes are created, thought of in Congress and go through, and then it's just, here it is, you guys, this is what you gotta pay. Maybe we can take control from the beginning. As a nation, we could take control of establishing an acceptable internet sales tax. The people taking control of establishing a tax, that is a really new idea and can set a new precedent. An internet sales tax acceptable to internet businesses. An internet sales tax acceptable to consumers. A revenue source to benefit the people of all 50 states individually. Where that revenue is used can be decided by the people of each state. We are, after all, supposed to be a republic based on democracy.
Awesome.
Anybody have any questions? Difficult subject to have questions.
I think they should do the flat rate.
It would be an
Because
interesting
internet
movement.
taxes are expensive.
Low.
low
Flat
tax, yeah,
rate.
low flat rate.
Okay, thank you, ladies, I really appreciate your help.